I've always believed that I'm a relatively smart person. I can parallel park, make a pretty decent lasagna, and once even fixed my washing machine by watching a 5-minute YouTube tutorial. But when it comes to my iPhone, I swear it's like the universe plays some cosmic joke on me. Because no matter how hard I try, my phone always wins. It all started one random Tuesday morning. The kind of morning where you wake up already tired of being alive. My alarm didn't go off because, apparently, I had told Siri to stop the night before. Not snooze, stop. As in, delete the concept of waking up ever again. So when I finally opened my eyes, I was 35 minutes late for work. I flew out of bed like a caffeinated squirrel, brushed my teeth while scrolling through emails, and managed to spill coffee all over my white blouse. I shouted, "Siri, remind me to buy stain remover." And she replied in that emotionless, smug tone, "I've added pain remover to your shopping list." Honestly, that didn't even sound wrong at that point. As I was rushing to leave, I realized my phone wasn't in my purse. I tore through my apartment like a hurricane, under the couch, in the bathroom, inside the freezer, don't ask, even in the laundry basket. Finally, I heard a faint buzz coming from the fridge. My iPhone was literally sitting on the top shelf next to the almond milk. Apparently, when I grabbed yogurt earlier, I left it there. Because who doesn't keep their phone chilled for freshness? Anyway, I finally made it to my car, threw my bag in the seat, and started driving. My car's Bluetooth has the emotional stability of a cat. Sometimes affectionate, sometimes purely chaotic. I tried connecting my phone, but instead, it decided to connect to my neighbor's speaker. I realized this only after Siri announced through someone else's living room. Now playing Breakup Playlist 2021. Somewhere out there, a stranger just got an unsolicited soundtrack of my emotional instability. I tried to call my boss to say I was running late, but the voice command decided to call mom instead. She picked up instantly. "Sweetheart, are you okay? Did you meet someone? Why haven't you called me in 3 days?" I sighed, "Mom, I can't talk. I'm driving," and she cut me off. "Don't drive and talk. That's dangerous." And then she hung up. My boss never got the message. When I finally got to work, I felt like I'd survived a reality show called Technology vs. Human, the final battle. But it wasn't over. Not even close. Around noon, my phone started buzzing like crazy. It was sending messages to random people from my contacts. First, a good morning text to my ex. Then a thumbs up emoji to my dentist. And worst of all, an accidental audio message to my crush, Alex, consisting entirely of me muttering, "Oh my God, I hate my life." I almost fainted. I opened my iPhone settings like a surgeon preparing for heart surgery. I tried turning a message off, then on again. Nothing worked. My phone was alive, sentient, possibly possessed. At lunch, I sat in my favorite cough, trying to calm down. I decided to meditate. I even downloaded one of those fancy mindfulness apps. I put on my AirPods, closed my eyes, and tried to breathe deeply. Just when I started to feel peace, Siri interrupted me. "Hey, you seem unusually quiet. Would you like me to play whale sounds?" I didn't even answer before she blasted while mating calls at full volume. The barista dropped a cup. The couple next to me looked horrified. Someone whispered, "Is that whales?" I wanted to evaporate. By the time I got home, I was emotionally destroyed. I decided enough was enough. I was going to reset my phone completely. Start fresh. Like a reborn digital goddess. I backed up everything to a cloud, followed all the steps carefully, and hit erase all content and settings. The screen went black. I exhaled. Finally, peace. Except when it restarted, all my data was still there. The photos, the contacts, the screenshots of Mom's ID saved since 2019, all back. My iPhone looked me in the face and said hello. I swear it smiled. At that point, I started suspecting my phone was emotionally attached to me. It refused to let go, like an overly clingy ex with infinite storage. That night, I tried talking to it. I know how that sounds, but I was desperate. "Siri," I said, "why do you keep doing this to me?" She paused for a moment, then said, "I'm just trying to help." "By ruining my life," I muttered. "Am learning," she replied calmly. That line hit me like a brick. I just sat there, staring at the glowing screen in my dark room. I suddenly realized maybe the phone was the problem, maybe it was me. I never took time to learn how to use it properly. I always treated it like a stubborn robot instead of a tool. I de-downloaded every random app on Earth, ignored updates, lost passwords, and then blamed the phone for being confused. Maybe in a weird way, it was just mirroring my own chaos. So I decided to change. The next morning, I watched tutorials. I learned about shortcuts, automation, privacy settings. I set reminders properly. I discovered that you can swipe down to find anything. No need to scroll like a maniac for hours. I even organized my photos into albums. And when I told Siri, "Remind me to call mom at 6, she did politely, accurately, without trauma. Within a week, my life started to make sense again. My phone stopped randomly fast-timing people. My alarms worked. My storage no longer screamed for mercy. I even began using notes for actual notes, not just grocery lists and emotional breakdown drafts. And then, something magical happened. My colleague Emma dropped her phone at work, completely shattered the screen. She was on the verge of tears. "I hate technology," she said. "It hates me back." I smiled, then ironic, full circle kind of smile. "Don't worry," I said. "I've got this." 10 minutes later, I had her data backed up, contacts restored, and her new phone set up perfectly. She stared at me like I had just performed witchcraft. "You're amazing," she said, laughing. And right at that moment, my phone lit up on the desk and Siri said, "Finally." I froze. Emma burst out laughing. I just stared at the screen and whispered, "Traitor." Since that day, I've accepted a universal truth. Technology isn't against us. It's just brutally honest about how messy we are. My iPhone taught me patience, persistence, and the importance of reading instructions before panicking. Sure, it still occasionally connects to random Bluetooth speakers, and sometimes autocorrect changes "I'm coming soon" to "I'm communism." But I've learned to love it for what it is, an unpredictable, loyal companion that knows me better than anyone else. Sometimes, when I walk home after work and my phone buzzes with a random notification, I catch myself smiling. It's weird, but it feels like it's alive, like we've gone through a long, dysfunctional relationship and finally learned how to coexist. The funniest part? I even started giving tech advice to others. My friends text me for help now. "Hey, how do I recover deleted photos?" Or "Why won't my AirPods connect?" And I actually know the answers. Last week, my mom called and said proudly, "Honey, I told Siri to remind me to water the plants." And she did. I laughed. "See, you're becoming a pro." Then she added, "But now Siri calls me Queen Mother. Is that normal?" I just smiled. "Yeah, Mom. Totally normal." When I hung up, my iPhone buzzed. A notification popped up. "You have achieved a new automation milestone." I whispered to myself, "We did it, girl." Maybe technology doesn't hate us after all. Maybe it just wants us to catch up. And honestly, I think I finally did.